Welcome, Bureau Nation, to the Coach's Corner, presented by Caps Pizza and Pub. Here's your host, Paul Tipton.
Hey, Bureau Nation, thanks for joining us as we round out the season with Week 11 win over Somerset, 43-0 at the Citrus Bowl. I'm Paul Tipton, joined by Coach Jankowski and Gary Parrish. And, Coach, congratulations, 10-0 on the season. Big win the other night, Thursday night of football. And, well, you guys got off to a great start. Again, another one of these games where you get off with, I guess for Bureau terms, a long drive, so to speak, to get things started off. But we saw a little razzle-dazzle on that drive with a finishing touch with a catch by the big man there for the two-point conversion. Take us through that.
Well, yeah, the drive was, we mixed it up with some run and pass and did a little bit of everything on that first drive. And I thought we were moving the ball very efficiently. And we had worked during the week. We wanted to we always, going into each and every game, we'll have, 3 or 4 plays that we have as 2-point plays that we work, each and every day just in case. And as it's turned out this year, opportunity hasn't presented itself for us to go for 2. So one of the plays that we had worked on going into this game on Thursday night was the play that you saw after our first touchdown. And we decided during the week that for the first, after our first score, whenever that was going to be, that we were just going to go ahead and go for 2. And it was a unique formation. It was a shift in a motion. And we were able to take what he originally lined up as an up back, which he's usually one of our starting offensive linemen, weighing in at, I think his dimensions on a good day before a night at Caps is about 6'2", 380. And so when he shifted out of there and lined up at receiver, I don't know what people probably thought we were losing our minds. But what they didn't realize is that we like describing he's got those stickies. He's got really good hands, and he's a good athlete. And it wasn't EJ's best throw of the night. It was a little bit up, and he had to climb the ladder a little bit and go upstairs and get it. And then he knew what to do once he caught it, and he finished it with a big 2-point play. And we were really excited. And honestly, we've seen different things throughout the season. We've used Big Champ back there in the backfield, and that gives us a big advantage, literally and figuratively, in short yardage situations. And that deal with Corbin out there as a flanker was a really big advantage.
Well, like I said, you got off to a great start with the drive there, but finished well in that first half, put up 43 points. And then, of course, second half was all running clock after that. What do you take away from a game like that, Coach?
Well, I mean, as I told our guys at halftime, we'd never played Somerset before. I think we talked about it going in. Their coach had reached out to me at the beginning of the summer, and they, on film showed to be, have some athletes and had put up some good numbers, and had some wins and all that. But as the game played out, it felt as if, and as it played, that we had some advantages and had them overmatched in some areas, and so. What we wanted to do was it was much more about us as far as, execution and effort, making sure that we're paying attention to detail, making improvements from the week before, and then doing things in all 3 phases that we look to do each and every week. And I felt like coming away from that, there were some really good things that happened on the night.
Coach, for Somerset, their top player was Baker, who mostly plays running back. He's coming in with a little over 1,000 yards on the season. He didn't really touch the ball as a running back much until later in the ball game. Did that surprise you?
Well, no, we had saw on film, especially later in the season, that they'd start him in the slot like they were doing. And for the fans that are watching, he wore number 1, and he was their focal point of their offense. And they would put him in the slot and move him back to the backfield and do some different things with him, whether it be, give him the ball on speed sweeps, doing some different things. Their guy number 3 that ended up playing a lot of the running back position later in the season, their most recent games to ours, he played a lot from the backfield, and they were using Baker in a lot of different areas. I think we had talked about it maybe on Thursday, that he reminded me the way they used him of the way Buchholz earlier in the season used number 13, just a lot of different ways. but we were able to neutralize him and really especially once we were able to get a couple scores up on them, it took them out of their game plan, and
Sure.
we kind of had our way with them.
Coach, the thing that I was impressed with your defense on the way they played, the aggressiveness, the assignments, the areas, they just never allowed any big plays. They did a good job of choking off right there at the line of scrimmage, 5 yards deep or so like that, but no big plays, just a lot of good tackling. And I was telling Paul on the break, man, we're tackling like crazy out there.
Yeah, I agree. And so when after the game's played and you chart it and you break it down and do the things that we have to do as coaches, and I always do those drive charts. And as it's happening live, sometimes you're like, okay, well, we were just doing this or doing that, and this happened or that. But when you really analyze the situations, I agree with what you're saying. Like, they were able to. We kept them in very favorable from our standpoint, from a defensive standpoint, favorable down and distances. We were very good on third downs again. We tackled well. Their runs were 3, 4, 5 yard gains. But then when they mixed in a pass play and it would be incomplete or whatever, they would be drives. They would stall drives, and we were able to dictate a lot of 3 and outs, play with a lot of field position. And as we always talk about, it's a complementary sport. So the defense is playing at a very high level, and it creates opportunities for special teams. We had a great punt return by Travion Townsend for a touchdown. We played with good field position all night. Offensive drives started, in their territory. Many of the different drives. So all of it works together, and when it works together that way, you end up with a very positive
Did you
night.
find it like the accumulation of everything that you've been working on all year? You kind of came together again the other night. It just I thought it was a perfect game almost. I mean, everything you wanted to do, you could do.
Yeah, I mean, it's trending in the right direction for sure. I mean, each and every week I feel like there's improvements being made. We're surely not perfect. We're not flawless. There's still a ton to be worked on, and we've been after it already this week. But I think I've mentioned this probably the last several shows, is that our guys are a lot of fun to be around. They're a lot of fun to be at practice. They enjoy going out. As crazy as it sounds, you got to put on this nasty equipment. You get it smells bad. It's heavy. It's nasty. And you got to go out there and do it after being in 7 classes a day and hearing, different teachers tell you how important every 48-minute block is. And yeah. That beat down happens. And our guys come 2:30, they really, or at least they fake me out and thinking that they're really enjoying themselves, and we're getting after it and getting some work done. So that 2:30 to 4:30 time is it's a precious time, a valuable time, and I've really enjoyed it.
Coach, there's still a lot of football to play, and we'll talk about postseason in our final break. But I want to give you a chance to reflect now. You're 10-0 on the regular season. What are the things that stick out to you from those 10 wins?
Yeah, just a lot of you face throughout a season. There's so many different areas of adversity, really, that happens, right? Whether it be an injury or a game a practice that gets canceled, or a game or a situation, with a student athlete, or there's so many different obstacles that happen through a season. And what jumps out at me is kind of what we were talking about before you asked the question, is the way that this team has come together, the closeness of this team. And I've been coaching too long to know that just because you're winning, it doesn't always sync up that practices are enjoyable and you know what I mean? And the guys are having fun and they enjoy being around each other. That doesn't always happen. And I've, like I said, I've done it long enough to know to really appreciate a good group when you have one. And these guys are a lot of fun. It's not ordinary behavior. to give your best effort all the time. It's a lot more ordinary to get by, or to get through a situation. So I think our players are special. They do a lot of things that are not ordinary things. They give us their best, each and every day.
You've gone now to 10 wins. 10 wins. That's phenomenal. Anywhere where anybody would say that's phenomenal. Not the first time you've done that.
I've been, fortunate. I've got some great kids to be around, and obviously, you guys know the staff that we have. They're a lot of fun to be around as well, and very knowledgeable and just great coaches, but beyond great coaches, just great human beings. So we have a good situation. I think one of the things that jump out, about this team and being, when you ask about having a chance to reflect a little bit, and I haven't spent a lot of time reflecting because we do have, a challenge in front of us, whatever that's going to be whenever the state comes out with the brackets. But in looking back on it a little bit, that, with our strength of schedule and the challenges we had with some of the teams that we played along the way and going to some hostile environments, whether it be Gainesville, Buchholz, or Pahokee, or some of these places throughout the state that get an opportunity to play Cocoa at home, and then the district, to having the usual, rivalries with our district, just the way that our players have handled that each and every week. I feel like they've really thrived in getting, staying away from worrying about the results and spending their time a whole lot more on what it takes to get to that result, the Monday through Thursday. And they've believed in that. And like I said, our Monday through Thursday is really enjoyable and a lot of fun.
Well, there's been so many different moments throughout the course of this season. I'm thinking about, offensive steamrolling on some games. I'm thinking dramatic wins up in Buchholz. Defensive domination at times. We've seen some special team plays. I mean, 2 field goals in one game. That alone made a special season just by itself. Right. The coach even called for a field goal. That should just go down with an asterisk right there. But in the end, Vero Beach is 10-0 in the regular season. Postseason is just around the corner, and we'll talk more about the postseason in just a little bit. But before we do all of that, we're going to step aside, come back. We'll have our Scott Sporting Good players of the game. This is Coach's Corner. We'll be back.
Comfort Zone AC and Heating of Vero Beach has been servicing Indian River County for over 40 years, using only certified technicians. As a Christian, family, and veteran-owned and operated business, they offer comprehensive air conditioning, heating, and indoor air quality solutions to their clients. Online at ComfortZoneACNow.com. Proud supporters of Fighting Indians.
Thanks to Longevity Rehab Centers in Vero Beach and Sebastian, owned by locals whose mission is to help heal those who are hurting with a goal of getting them back to a productive life. Longevity Rehab has built a reputation of trust with their clients from the top down, offering both physical and massage therapy designed to restore, relieve, or maintain a healthy lifestyle. Blue Cross Blue Shield, Humana, Cigna, United Healthcare, Health First, Medicare, and most insurances are accepted. LongevityRehab.com.
Christian FM thanks Paris Family Chiropractic for their support. Dr. Matt Paris is a longtime resident of Vero Beach and a former quarterback for the Fighting Indians. Just like our Fighting Indians work hard for the win, Dr. Paris works hard for a patient's well-being. From proper alignment to good nutrition, Dr. Paris helps patients achieve the win. Paris Family Chiropractic. When the spine is in line, everything is fine. 299-4649 or ParisFamilyChiro.com.
Durfee's Heating and Cooling, a longtime friend and supporter of Christian FM. Durfee's Heating and Cooling offers air conditioning repairs, maintenance, and new installations. Family owned and operated, serving the Treasure Coast area. Durfee's Heating and Cooling, 772-971-5884.
Cafe 66, located on US 1 just south of 8th Street. At Cafe 66, our breakfast menu is all about variety. From biscuits and gravy to country fried steak and eggs, to Nutella stuffed French toast. Our lunch and dinner menus have something for everyone, from barbecue platters to unique burgers. Our hours online at cafe66vero.com. We proudly support the Fighting Indians.
Summers in Florida mean hot weather with lots of rain. Having gutters that work well is a must for most homes. Thanks to Able Gutter Services for their partnership. They provide premium products crafted to ensure customer satisfaction while protecting from water damage and maintaining structural integrity. Able Gutter Services in Indian River, St. Lucie, and Brevard County. Their number is 772-766-2554.
The Coach's Corner, presented by Caps Pizza and Pub.
Well, last Thursday night, Vero Beach wins the ball game over Somerset 43-0, improves to 10-0, and that finishes up the regular season. Postseason is on its way. We'll talk about that in our next segment with Coach Jankowski and Gary Parris. But first, let's talk to our Scott Sporting Good players of the game. I got Phillips and Phillip here tonight with me, and good to have you guys here tonight. Duke, last time you were here, man, we were talking a little bit about, some of the fun stuff with football and stuff. Yes, Coach Jankowski was just talking about how much fun it is during practice time, and do you enjoy practice? You have a lot of fun?
Yes, sir. We got a very good group. Everybody got very good humor. We always laughing, but we know when to take it serious.
You guys defensively, man, the team as a whole is trending in the right direction, but defensively, man, you guys just seem like you're getting better and better and better each week, and it seems like everything is clicking, especially from a football IQ standpoint. It's like everybody's moving faster. They're reacting quicker. You feel that way?
Yes, sir. I said at the start of the season, we probably defensive-wise, we started off a little slow. But as we went on, we only got better. You know what I mean? The days through practice and all of that, we got better and better. As you can see, we held the last team to 0, and I think we held the last team to 0 also. So, yeah, again, we just got better and better, just practice.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch. And so we got this week where we don't have a game.
Yes, sir.
What's the week been like so far? We're only 2 days into it, obviously, with practice, but what's it been like?
It's mainly technique. I'll say Coach B, he's been conditioning us. He's going to be conditioning us this week for sure.
Yeah.
Mainly conditioning. I think we have an idea of who we might be playing the game coming up. So we pretty much – I think he's pretty much already getting the scheme ready for what we're about to do and stuff.
Of course.
So,
yeah.
Just working on the basics. That's it.
Cool, man. All right, here we go. Usually known as an offensive lineman, starting center, Corbin Phillips.
Yes, sir.
Corbin, it took us all of 11 weeks to get you here on the show, and it took you scoring a touchdown to get on the show, but we finally got you here, man. It actually wasn't a touchdown. It was actually a 2-point conversion.
Yeah.
But hey, congratulations, man. You got the end zone.
Yes, sir. I did.
So obviously you guys have been working on these plays. Were you surprised when it got called?
Very surprised.
Yeah?
Yes. I was waiting on them my whole life.
So when you line up, was your heart just like going crazy?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was nervous. a little bit.
So you see the ball in the air. What's going through your mind?
Everything. It was a little hot, but I've been had it on me. I've been had the hand, so just grab it and go. That's it.
Did it feel like it was in slow motion, or was it like hyper speed?
It was a little slow.
Yeah.
But all I know is just to grab the ball and go find the end zone.
So the ball lands in those big mitts of yours. You turn and look. What do you see?
End zone. All I saw end zone. Champ did miss the block, but it's okay. He
did his best.
He did his best, though. It's okay, though. It's okay.
Man, my goodness.
I still love him.
Maybe we could find somebody out there a little better that can block for you next time. I don't know.
I believe it,
my
Champ.
goodness. Sorry, big champ. And, hey, I know most schools in America are giving you a call these days, but my goodness, you're just not living up to the standard of Mr. Corbin Phillips these days. My fault. My bad here, man. It doesn't count as a touchdown, even though you scored in the end zone like that. But if it did, do you know where you would sit as far as the other receivers are concerned? How many touchdowns? You got one, basically.
Yes, sir.
What does that put you on the list? Do you know?
Fifth, I think.
Fifth, yeah, you're tied for fifth.
Yes, sir.
Who are you tied with?
Jarvis and Marcus.
And one other guy. He's sitting right over there to your left.
Bobby
Burbick. There you go. So there you go, man. Awesome. That's cool,
sir.
Man. That's cool. Yeah. So you've been strutting your stuff this week?
Yes, sir.
Of course, right?
Yes,
right.
Sir,
yeah,
yes,
yeah. Okay. So are you hoping that maybe that number gets called again?
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully I do.
All right. So if it does, and it's an actual touchdown this time. Did we get a dance out of that?
Yes.
Okay, there we go. Cool.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, sir.
That's awesome, guys. Well, I know we got to wait to figure out exactly who we're going to play in postseason, but I think we have a somewhat of an idea. But aside from all that, we know we got to play some games, right?
Sure.
So what are you doing to try to get ready for your next opponent?
Just focus every day, doing what the coaches tell me, not goofing around every day. You feel me? Just executing, doing my job to help the team.
You don't goof around, do you?
Yeah, sometimes we play a little bit at practice. But we know how to take it serious when the time comes.
Yeah. Well, we know somebody likes to play around sometimes, and Coach Mata has to call him out everywhere, which we will refrain from saying what Coach Mata says about him this time. But, okay, guys. Well, congratulations, 10-0 on the season.
Yes,
We're
sir.
not done. We're ready to move on to the next step, and we will get to that in just a little bit. In fact, when we come back, Coach Jay, Gary Parrish is going to join me here. We're going to talk about who our possible next opponent will be. Thanks to Corbin Phillips and Duke Phillip for joining us here tonight, our Scott Sporting Good players of the game. Coach's Corner continues right after this.
Cafe 66, located on US 1 just south of 8th Street. At Cafe 66, our breakfast menu is all about variety. From biscuits and gravy to country fried steak and eggs to Nutella stuffed French toast. Our lunch and dinner menus have something for everyone, from barbecue platters to unique burgers. Our hours online at cafe66vero.com. We proudly support the Fighting Indians.
A septic system is only as good as the installation and maintenance. Reliable Septic is the name known along the coast for being the professionals who install and service these systems for both residential and commercial uses. They'll determine the on-site needs and design considerations for a complete wastewater treatment system. Thanks to Reliable Septic Service. 772-562-4242.
Gino's Nutrition Shop carries a wide selection of safe supplements for athletes no matter their age, especially regular gym goers. I'm Gino, and we love supporting the Fighting Indians. Our supplements work for muscle recovery, hydration, focus, immunity health, along with grab-and-go meals. At Gino's Nutrition Shop in Miracle Mile, our customers are family.
Linus Cadillac Buick GMC of Vero Beach has been a part of the community for over 2 decades and proudly supports our Fighting Indians. It's important to put the best team on the field to ensure a winning season. Linus Cadillac Buick GMC fields a lineup that all fans can agree has championship pedigree. From the 2025 Cadillac Escalades to the new XT5 Luxury Optic Sport 2, late model pre-owned vehicles too. 1401 Highway 1, Vero Beach, LinusCadillac.com.
The Coach's Corner, presented by Caps Pizza and Pub.
Well, welcome back as we've got all 11 weeks in now. We're 10-0 on the season and got a break this week, kind of get prepared for postseason, Coach. And, the show for the FHSAA is going to come out on Thursday where they'll reveal the brackets. We are in Class 7A. We are Region 3, and, of course, District 11 is our representation in the bracket. We've been kind of eyeing this. I know you have as well. And, right now it's, the 8th seed's always that big question mark. Who's on the bubble? Are they in? Are they out? Right. And I think right now, based off of what we know, it possibly could be East Ridge. Is that what you see?
Yes, for sure. So, to your point, every Tuesday for the last 5 or 6 weeks, the FHSA would update their rankings. And their rankings, as we've talked about in previous weeks, it's a big algorithm that involves your overall record, your strength of schedule, your opponent's strength of schedule. So there's a lot involved. And we've been, obviously you've mentioned our record. We also have a very strong power ranking for our strength of schedule. So I think for all practical purposes, as far as our region goes, I think we can count on being the number 1 seed in our region. What we don't know is exactly who's going to be that 8 seed. This is the only Tuesday that the new brackets don't get updated.
Right.
And so I was kind of hoping, I was taking peeks, throughout the day that maybe they would update today and then update again on Thursday. But it makes a whole lot more sense to just wait till Thursday because there are games being played today. Today is the last day in this makeup week that the state put in place for all of the schools throughout the state. Today's the last day that you can make up the game. And what the state has made all teams do is that if you missed a game and you were under contract, you were required to make it up. So in years past, because there was not this week, there were a bunch of games, especially if there were playoff implications, where a ranking could go up and down. where coaches were electing not to play games. And you guys have been on that side of it with me. And I've always just been one of those guys that these guys practice a whole lot for a very little, amount of game time.
Sure.
And so I've always been a fan of playing games. And so I am a fan of this system. And I know Gary has spoke on it in years past on, having this in place so that games can be made up. So the state, I think, did a nice job. But what it's done is we've got 2 practices under our belt this week with and we're really not sure who we're going to be playing.
Right.
But I think if it stays as it is, which I think there's a better chance than not that it stays the same, then we would play East Ridge. And they are, and we probably should spend, maybe next week's show talking more about that because, I haven't spent a lot of time in preparation. But just looking at their record, they're a little bit of an enigma. They started 6-0, and they're in Dr. Phillips' district. And I knew they were excited about that Dr. Phillips game, thought that they had an opportunity to knock them off. And then Dr. Phillips had their way with them. And then since they've lost 4 straight. So, they sit at 6-4. There are some other schools there in that where there's 7, 8, 9 that, things could go, upside down in that bottom part of the bracket. So who knows? But like I said, we've got enough to work on within ourselves that these last 2 days have been 2 really good practices for us. So I'm really excited.
Coach, because you don't know yet, but you have an idea. But let me ask you, have you been following what the Florida High School Athletic Association has been is trying to do with they're eliminating a class, and they're trying to do away with district opponents?
Yeah, so I haven't been, locked into that, so to speak, but, in my role also as athletic director and in all of what's involved with that, I've been getting lots of questions asked and thrown my way from coaches of other schools and different coaches throughout the state. And so I really haven't had a chance to do a deep dive into it, but I saw the 2 proposals. And I think that's what it came down to was there was one of the proposals that I saw was, they were going to go with 6 classifications, require you to play district opponents, and I think include the rural division to make them play district games. And then the other option was even less classifications, but you did not have to play district opponents. And then you'd have basically a district tournament at the end of the regular season. I heard today that the first proposal was the one that passed. Now I've been involved in this state with the FHSA and proposals for a long time. Where I don't know is where that lies. Does it still need to be voted on? Has it been locked in? Are we waiting for anything else? You guys probably follow that or know that better than I do. I just haven't read up on it, but I have seen both options.
Yeah, they came out today, 10-3 vote to have just one less classification. Now what was cloudy and what I didn't get is the district games.
Okay, if it was the one less classification, then you're required to play your district games.
That's okay.
Yeah, and but you're right. The other option did not require you. What I'm a fan of is I am, believe it or not, a fan of less classifications because there are too many districts, in my opinion, throughout our state where the districts are so small.
14.
3 and 14 districts. Us, for example, we've lost a lot of geographical rival games.
Right.
Because they're in other districts. We're in a different district. So, games that we should, in my opinion, should play each and every year because the fan bases need to see it.
Right.
The communities want to see it.
Yeah.
The Vero Martin County game, for example, that game was, I think that's the most common game on the Treasure Coast. It's been played more times than any other 2 schools, and we don't play a lot. Just in my time here, we've only played a few times.
Right.
This is my 15th season. Jensen Beach, for example, they're always a school that is at the top of their district, and we have a similar enrollment. I did the enrollment today. I think Vero's at about 2,500. A lot of people think Vero has 5,000 students. We've got 2,500 students. You know what I mean? So it's just in one of those situations to me that I like geographical games. I think it brings more to the stadium. I think you have fan bases from both schools. I think it just does a little bit more to the area, you know. And I'm the football chairperson for our geographic district, and so we had our meeting last Monday night, and you get to see all these coaches and hear about all their great talent because you nominate players at each position. And I'm thinking to myself, there's only a few of you that we get to play that I even get to know about.
Yeah.
Because, you know, if they're not in our district, our area, our Treasure Coast area, if they're not in our district, we're not playing them.
Yeah.
And I think that's a shame.
That is. My point brought it up was because is it going to help, you know, now that you still got to play your district and
With scheduling?
Scheduling, yeah.
Yes, yeah. I think it will. I think the district should be larger. I think the, you know, that slot, that enrollment slot, because districts, probably most of our listeners know this, districts are made throughout the state based on school enrollment, grades 9 through 12. So, you know, that 2,500 student enrollment slot, I think, puts us in a category with a lot of schools around here. There was a time when, even when I first got here, where our enrollment was over 3,000. So,
yeah, well, Coach, being the potentially we're the number one seed in our respective bracket for this postseason, which means we have home field advantage through the playoffs, which means we have a lot of opportunities for fans to get tickets for the game. So if they want to get tickets for this coming Friday, the 14th ball game, how do they do that?
Yeah, so we've got obviously a unique situation in that we have season ticket holders, and we want to give those season ticket holders an opportunity to sit in their seats. So we're going to offer those. We actually have them here tonight at CAP. So any season ticket holders that are listening, if you can get here, you know, in the next little bit, order a pizza from John, you know, get some chicken wings, whatever you want to do here at CAPS. They've got great food. And you can pick up your season tickets, or you can pick up your seats that you had for season tickets. And we want to give you priority to allow you to get your seats. And we're going to also do that Thursday and Friday at school from 8 to 10 in the morning. You can come into the front office, the admin, and we'll have your tickets for you. After that, starting on Monday, we've got to get them to the general public, and they'll be released, and people just can come. And our, as they know, our home side is there. It's all reserved. Tickets are $10 for the playoffs. The FHSA decides all that. But I think, again, I've got to be biased, but to separate my bias from all that, you're crazy if you live in this town and you don't come to the game next Friday night, the 14th.
Yep.
It's going to be, you know, for as long as we can be in this thing, it's going to be a great game each and every Friday night. We've got great kids. We've got tremendous talent. We've got cheerleaders. We've got a great band. We've got a great community. So we need to take advantage of our great football community, pack the stadium, allow us the advantage of playing at home, and let's just pack it up and have a good Friday night.
Agreed. I think the 12th man can show itself in full force there and help Vero Beach earn a win in the first round of the playoffs. Coach, one last question on that. Is kickoff going to be slated for 7:30?
Yeah, so we don't know that until we know our opponent.
Okay.
So the state, that's a great question, though, because the state sets those games for 7:30, but if it's agreed upon to play at 7, and it's always my preference, especially playing a team from out of town, you know, and I think our fans are used to 7:00 games by now. So we would have to get approval, obviously, from our opponent and the FHSA. So that's to be determined.
Okay. All right. Well, hopefully by next Tuesday when we have Coach's Corner, we'll have a good handle on that and be able to give that information to you. So, but go ahead and get your tickets now, get that set, and love to have you out there for the game on Friday the 14th at the Citrus Bowl. All right, Coach. Good to have you here. Gary Parrish joining me as well. It's Coach's Corner. Thanks for joining us. As always, go Indians.
Thanks for watching the Coach's Corner, presented by Caps Pizza and Pub.